Hello.
Hi.
Yo.
We were just saying that United States puts out 5.1. What was that?
It was like 5.1 billion.
Billion in 2017.
Dang.
Tons. Tons.
You can only imagine how much more it is by now.
Jeez.
Tons of carbon annually. So I can't even. What would that be? You know, I mean, it's like
It's a lot.
how many frozen Han Solos is that?
Especially if it's gaseous.
At least 7.
I think that's carbonite.
Yeah.
That's carbonate, which has carbon.
Yeah.
So we assume. It was
Yeah.
a long
We
time
can
ago.
make so many frozen
In
Han
a far, far
Solos.
away galaxy. Yeah.
Who knows what it was?
So
Yeah. You guys know how far the whole carbon scrubbing technology has come? Because I know I keep hearing these things like we're gonna build a giant one over here, giant one over there somewhere in the country, but I guess I haven't really followed that too closely.
well, you know what the best carbon scrubbers are? Trees.
yeah.
And plankton.
Oh,
Running
yeah.
out of that.
Yeah. So, but you warm up the oceans, and I don't know. I think that messes with the plankton.
I think that it causes, at least it'll cause more algae, which algae is part of plankton sometimes.
So that'll help, but it'll
Maybe.
kill all the animals. I think. I don't know.
If anything, there's gonna be pre-boiled lobster.
Yeah.
Which would be pretty.
I
neat.
remember in the mid '90s, I was reading popular Science or no Scientific America, and it was the NOAA had released, or it was towards early 2000s, and they had released their information of their testing of ocean warmth in the century or 20th century. And it was from over 1,500 to 1,800 buoy sites and down to 600 meters, which, what is that, about 1,800 feet? And through the course of that, all the world's oceans from those sites had warmed up 1 degree Celsius
Jeez.
in a century.
That's considerable.
So
I mean, and that's what our oceans do. They're a great heat sink, but you don't want to heat them up too much.
That's what I think the whole thought behind the Green New Deal and the Paris Agreement. We need to stop it before it gets to 2 degrees Celsius, and we just passed 1.5 degrees, or at least I think not too long ago.
Yeah. Well, what that means is that it's going to melt our freshwater Antarctica and our freshwater in the North Pole.
And there's gonna be a lot of water shortages ended up then too, because I think there's a good chunk of people in Asia who kind of rely on just melt from I think glaciers in the Himalayas, and if those melt too quickly, it cause flooding and oddly enough drought.
Yeah, in Bangladesh is a lowland country, and they and I don't know the number of many millions of people that live there, and in the lowlands, and most of the people on the planet live close to the coastal areas. With the rising water issues, that's going to create problems. The thing is, it may not say that it's a lot of water, but it could plus or minus 2 or 2 to 5 feet. But that's 2 to 5 feet. How do you live in 2 feet of water?
Miami's going to be the American Venice
There you
in
go.
100 years.
Gondola
Be
jobs.
pretty cool.
Gondola jobs will open up there. You know.
Hey, that'll be neat. We can go swimming at the beaches of Kansas too.
But you can't swim in it because it's all acidic.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh god,
Just-
it's
It'll eat up your rod, your row.
it's like the blood from aliens. But you're swimming in it.
It's interesting. See what'll happen.
I was impressed that you remember what you read 25 years ago from a magazine. I was just getting into Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, no, I remember that because I questioned a local weatherman on what he had thought about it, and when I bumped into him, what do you think about global warming? And at that time he said, it's inconclusive right now because, there's not enough data points to do it. And well,
It's a pretty convenient answer.
now there is, and so there's plenty of information about, and a lot of scientists right now kind of tend to view that are contributing those billions of metric tons of carbon, and the thing is, there's an argument against that. When one volcano will add almost, I didn't see what the comparison was, a lot of that warm gases, but that's kind of a natural thing, and you have to have a lot of volcanoes going off, and I think primarily the magma is kind of over that stage, or this planet is over the stage of volcanic active volcanic disruption like that, but I could be wrong.
Don't blame the volcanoes, people. Come
Yeah,
on.
it's
They are pretty cool,
yeah.
except for Yellowstone. Yellowstone could be a
I
problem.
am afraid of that little geyser.
Is
Yeah.
there a super volcano?
Yep.
Is that Yellowstone?
That
Yep.
is,
Right underneath. Yeah.
Another super volcanoes, those in Washington.
Really?
Yeah.
Did not hear about those.
Those.
That's not Mount St. Helen, is it?
Yeah, they're pyroclastic where they blow. Well, the super volcanoes are the flat ones. There's they're like Yellowstone, and there's one in the Mediterranean, I believe, and there's one in Asia. I don't remember anymore.
Oh yeah.
Other than that, but there's quite a few around the globe.
What's the damage radius if one of those goes off?
Well,
That geyser, I think I heard it would get to almost North Dakota, western North Dakota.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's,
Oh,
And
it's,
then that's
it's,
not counting the ash.
It's the
Oh,
ash fallout that does the most damage because that's silicates. That's just rock.
oh yeah, it'll probably pretty much cover the entire continent in a nice layer of ash.
Yeah, and yeah.
Good news though. All the dust and go into the atmosphere though. That'll cancel out some global warming or like some light back.
Yeah, that's
It
good
only-
news.
We just
There
need to
you go.
sacrifice North America first.
Yeah, and well,
at the
not
bright
only
side.
North America, but that also affects Europe, and the northern hemisphere gets kind of messed up from that, from what I understand. So
Yeah, I was reading there was a. It was called the Little Ice Age. It was like back in the 1700s.
1600s.
Yeah, like like volcano went off and just caused like the year without a summer.
Yeah.
And like I was reading this one personal account. It got so cold that actually like it was described as almost like a fantasy land because it was so quiet and like just snow almost hung in the air. Like
Yeah,
it
I
was.
think was it Hans Christian Andersen or something like that? It was around that time where they wrote and ice skating and
It was Mary Shelley. She wrote Frankenstein during that.
okay, so yeah, so
I think her and Lord Byron and like a couple other people had a competition of as
the
to
romantic resurgence, neo-romantics or whatever. Yeah. So cool. Anyway, be kind to your environment. We only have one.
yeah.
We'll have multiple biomes, but one that we live in.
Exactly. And again, give money to NASA because that might be our last hope.
Yeah.
If we
Our
don't.
last best hope.
They need plenty of it too, don't they?
Oh yeah, they do.
So.
Like,
Well, thank you for tuning into Carlton Palisades, and we hope to see you again. Thanks for tuning in. Check out our Patreon and our other available vlogs and whatnot. Thanks.
thank you.
I
not an
hope
expert, just like,
to
boom,
sing
not an expert, just
all
flashing.
over the
Some
earth,
crazy-
share the songs that make me whole. When I'm free, I wait to get to my pieces till I'm free, and I hope that I'll discover the real me. Yes, I hope that I'll discover the real me. Hope that I'll discover that when I'm free, I'll wait to gather my pieces till I'm free and I'm at peace, and then maybe I'll discover the real me. Yes, maybe I'll discover the real me.